Welcome to Timelines, episode 145. Today, we have back with us Dr. Carrie Drzyzga. She's back, of course. She was on episode 104, but you know what? She's known for internationally as the functional medicine doctor, the expert to go to find the root cause of your problems and health problems. She's a chiropractor, naturopathic doctor, host of the popular podcast Functional Medicine Radio Show. That's the Functional Medicine Radio Show. And author of the book, Reclaiming Your Energy and Feeling Normal Again. Well, welcome back, Dr. Carrie.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you for having me back on Timelines.
Well, how'd you like that? Talk about functional. I'm having to talk. I'm having to look at the clock and run the sound at the same time and read.
It's quite a lot of multitasking.
That's the first time I've ever
I don't think
done
I could do it.
I've done it post. I've got to work on my reading and practice, but it's fun. And, this is the new daily show. You actually don't realize it, that you filled out the form for the old format. We're on a new format now. So.
Oh, okay.
Well, what's happened now in the last, I don't know, I was down in Southern California on vacation when I did that last interview, and we did 3 or 4, and it sort of got all mixed up and got on later. But it's been a while since our interview. What's happening? What's going on in the functional medicine? Your book, when did you finish this book?
Yeah, so on our last interview, we were actually talking about my first book, Reclaim Your Energy and Feel Normal Again, Fixing the Root Cause of Your Fatigue with Natural Treatments. And I think on that interview, we talked about some of the common nutrient deficiencies that people can suffer from that are actually causing and contributing to their fatigue, tiredness, exhaustion, burnout, and whatnot. And I launched that in June this year, and we had really great success with that. One of the most common compliments I get about that book is just how easy it is to read and understand. It's not full of technical doctory language like most books written by doctors are.
Well, that's good.
And so then since then, I've come out with my first at-home course called Entrepreneurial Fatigue, How to Fuel Your Brain and Body for Entrepreneurial Success. And actually, I was speaking with Jessica Rhodes. She's an entrepreneurial friend of yours and mine. And she had said, Dr. Carrie, a lot of entrepreneurs and small business owners are really struggling with fatigue, tiredness, exhaustion, burnout. And she approached me with this idea of creating, off of my book, creating some kind of a program specifically designed for entrepreneurs. So that's what I did.
Very good. So how's that going?
It's going really well. So I guess one of the most common questions that I get about this is, how do I know if I have entrepreneurial fatigue? Like, what is that? So I would say, if you could do this right now, and of course all the people watching and listening, if you sit and think about how would you rate your energy from 0 to 10, 0 would be no energy at all, and 10 would be your batteries are on full charge. So kind of think about a number of, on average, how you would rate your energy. And I would say if you're not rating yourself at 8 or higher, you have some amount of entrepreneurial fatigue. And whether you know it or not, it's impacting your life, your business, your bottom line in some way, shape, or form.
Oh, I can understand that. I've had 3 different types of businesses in my life, from the military a few times because of the war, to design build construction where I had employees. But my newest business and venture the last couple of years is this new media, and it's so complex. I mean, I know how to design and build houses and buildings, and from the start to the finish, design build. And I think this is as tough as anything I've ever done. Being able to talk, communicate, get a message out, and do the technical side. There's so many different elements.
And it's always changing too.
Oh, this lab that we're on now didn't exist a year ago.
Right. So things are always changing. So that's part of what makes it difficult, I would think, is trying to keep up with everything. I know for me in my private practice here at Functional Medicine Ontario, as a functional medicine doctor, I totally get that there is just, within our businesses, there's just that inborn requirement to always have to keep up.
The hustle.
For you, it's the hustle. For me, it's keeping up with the research on healthcare and all the new great stuff coming out there. But it takes time, it takes energy, and
when
whatnot.
I say hustle, I mean, it just, you got to, for me, it's kind of strange. It's such a different lifestyle. It's like I left one state into another state, completely set up again. My wife's got a real estate company going. We've got kids. I was going out doing those traditional things that I used to do in my design, build, construction, which was a lot of networking face to face. And on this media, it wasn't working as well. It still does, but doesn't, because we interview here people locally. But it's such a new media that it's a worldwide media. So it's a very small number of people. So within your community or city, there's fewer people. So you're really reaching out across the world for me. And anyway, it's a balance. So last time we were together, I was, health. And that's another thing. It's a new health style. I'm used to being out in the field, doing things in and out, running around, management. And now I'm behind a desk a lot.
Right.
Before I was behind a desk designing and engineering, but I was doing that mostly in the evening or at night. But now it's like constant because there's so much to do. So what are some of your tips before we go to a break for people like me or the people who with this new lifestyle? And there's a lot of people, really the people listening are really more this new media type folks. So for them, as they evolve in their lifestyle, family, whatever they're doing, what should they do to stay healthy?
So that's a pretty big question that you just asked there, but I think you might have heard that they've actually done some really interesting research on sedentary lifestyles, which basically means those of us that have a job where we're basically sitting for the majority of our day. And what they found in the research is that that's actually worse than if you were smoking, worse for your health than smoking. And so I guess one of the big things is getting up and moving around. I know for some people, they have actually invested in like a standing desk or a desk that you can raise and lower so you can sit, you can stand. I know some people have invested in desks that you can exercise with. So like with a treadmill and whatnot. Those kind of seemed a little bit goofy 5 years ago, but actually we're seeing like that's really important for health reasons. You could do something very simple as far as setting a timer. I know that you have a timer right near you.
This is the time.
Yeah. You could set a timer that once an hour you get up for 5 minutes, and it could be walk around. I know we were talking earlier about Jessica Rose in Interview Connections. I know in her office she's got a mini trampoline. So she'll periodically through the day get away from her desk and just bounce on the mini trampoline as a form of exercise. So
I've got a pull-up bar over here. I should bring it in. So.
Yeah. I mean, there's lots of different ways, but somehow for you to think about if that's putting a timer, putting it in your electronic schedule to have a reminder pop up periodically through your day that you need to take 5 minutes to do something to get your body moving.
As that, we're going to go to a break, and we're testing out the new system here. And it didn't work. Yeah. Wait a second. We're testing out the new system. Work testing. No, it didn't work. Well, it sort of worked. Let's try it again. We're testing out the new system. This is not going to be edited. No, I think I need to bring it out a little more powerful. Well, with that, we'll go to the break. Hey, quick word from our sponsors, Share the Oils at sharetheoils.com. Hey, we want to thank you for all that you do and your technology. And believe it or not, Share the Oils is actually oils for chiropractors here in Northern Nevada that they develop and create and sell and market. So they're one of our best sponsors, but they're also techies, which is a lot of fun. And good motivators. They're life, health, wellness folks. And similar to you, Carrie. And they're one of our sponsors of the show. So thank you, Share the Oils. And reminder that I have an offer right now. I'm building my first quote unquote product, and it's called Netcasting 101. And it's more than just podcasting. It's what we're doing here on Blab. We turn it into a podcast and to YouTube. It is so easy. The other thing too, I think it's really important. It's a little bit of note out here that we're learning. And I've done this over the last couple of years is I always test new shows now on YouTube before I put them up into iTunes. When you go into iTunes, you want to have everything squared away so you make new noteworthy. So that's what we're doing. We're doing a whole different little level. It's under $50 to pre-join the course. And I don't know what the price is going to be once we set it up. Hopefully it goes high enough that we can make a pretty good living doing it. But I've got a pretty good team of folks working and collaborating. And again, that's netcasting101.com. So go over there Well, let's get back to the show, but let's try a sound effect today. We're trying something new. This is live. Let's see if it works. The jet. No, there's our jet. It's a little low. I'm going to have to adjust that. But we can always put in some hard rock.
I did hear it.
And that's not that loud, too. That's funny. It must do something because earlier it was louder.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, back. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go to the fun part of the show, and we're going to talk about success, life, and leadership principles and rules. And I've actually reduced these, I think, for the show, but we've got about 6 or 7, and I'm going to just say one, and you're going to talk about it. So Carrie, here's the first one. Take good care of yourself.
Take good care of yourself.
So I shouldn't be smoking before the show?
I mean, that goes for everybody. I mean, we were talking earlier about how so many people have such sedentary lifestyles, and that's actually worse than smoking. But yeah, fundamentally, take good care of yourself. This is the one and only body you're getting in this lifetime, and you have to take care of it. And I find that entrepreneurs, they're so focused on all of the plates that are spinning for their marketing, their promotion, sales and whatnot. And they forget that fundamentally their most important business asset is themselves. They need to keep themselves healthy.
I'm going to tell a little story. I recognize this coming into Reno. After, during the war, I was activated. I decided to go back and finish military. So we shut down our design, build, construction. But my wife continued to run our real estate division of the company as a manager for 20 some odd years. But she managed, agents, people, and she really wanted to get out of that business of managing people. And then she went as an independent. We consolidated our companies. We took an opportunity to leave Modesto, which all our friends are there, and we know everybody there, and come to a new area. Now, it's been really tough on her in that she's starting over, even though she's been a broker for 25 years, very knowledgeable. And it's frustrating at times because she's got so much core knowledge. But she changed her lifestyle, and she's beautiful. But I saw her health really come back when she got out of that management and came over here to a new environment in the foothills and the mountains.
Mm-hmm.
She changed her environment. And she's not in bad shape because was an athlete when she was younger. And she's very active here with our kids and girls, but she's not working at the same level. Plus, we have the mountains and hiking.
Yeah, making a change like that can be so valuable. A lot of people quite aren't there yet to make that much of a change, but even just starting with the small things like how much water are you drinking every day? Are you starting your day with a really great breakfast, or are you starting with a donut and a coffee? Are you getting some exercise? Are you doing stress management? We know as entrepreneurs and business owners that stress management is so vital, but how many of us are doing it on a regular basis? And then, of course, there's sleep too. Yeah. Getting really great, deep sleep, because when we're sleeping at night, that's actually the chance for our body to recharge, to rebuild, to repair, to detoxify. That all happens while we're sleeping. Our body is actually quite active while we're sleeping. So fundamentally, if we're not getting really great deep sleep every night, that is going to have a huge impact, long-term on your health. There's so many different avenues we could take just talking about this topic, but fundamentally, take good care of yourself.
That leads me to a question is on sleep, and sleep is so important. And that's my worst habit is not getting sleep. And I think it had something to do with the military and 30 years, and all the things I've done. Plus I did most of my design work at night. I'd take a nap sometimes between 3 and 4 in the afternoon because construction goes from 7 till about 3ish. And then it was quiet and I come back to our office and design till late at night. I liked the lifestyle, but I didn't like the lifestyle. It was interesting. It was very focused though. I had a pattern over years, but going to sleep, I worked 1 or 2 in the morning sometimes. And so I'd fall right asleep because I'm so exhausted. But I'm only getting like 4 hours of sleep back then and an hour nap at 5. So I was doing 5 hours. I don't think that's good. What's the trick to get?
Oh, that's not good. That's not good.
I think that nap helped. And I'd fall right asleep. What is the trick to actually going to bed at night? I take melatonin now a little bit once in a while.
So melatonin can be helpful, but there's many other things that you can be doing. One is wearing an eye mask, a sleep mask when you go to bed. I had that in the military overseas. So when you think about it, in your bedroom, you probably have a bedroom like mine. I've got an alarm clock. It's got a light. There's usually some kind of electronics like your cell phone charger or a television or whatnot, your phone. They also have lights, and then you have the light creeping in around your window shades. And all of that is that ambient light. It's just a little bit that's shining through, but that prevents your brain from making maximum amounts of melatonin all on its own. So one of the things that I've heard across the board that I've recommended to patients and to entrepreneurs is to just go out and buy an eye mask and then wear it every night, because that's going to block out that little bit of ambient light, and that'll allow your body and brain to fall in the deepest levels of sleep, because now you're making maximum amounts of melatonin.
There's an art to good eye masks, and I'd love to find a great one. Now
there is.
On your website, I bet you don't have it. You should. You should have like an affiliate place where you can go on Amazon and buy it. Just have it right there.
I actually have a lot of people telling me, Dr. Carrie, you should just sell the eye masks straight off your website.
Find the best one and rate it, and then I don't have to think. I'll just go buy it from you, because I do that all the time. But I'm guilty too on my websites of not getting my affiliates up.
So I'll tell you what the best eye mask that I've been able to find. It's actually very inexpensive. It looks like a mini training bra, in the sense that it has molded cups, so it's not pressing against your eyeball. And I've got, if you're in Canada, you can get it over at Winners. If you're in the US, you can get it over at
TJ
Maxx,
can I have that one like a bra? I want
Marshalls.
a bra on my face.
Yeah, it looks like a mini. I've had people say that looks like a mini training bra. Yeah, over at Marshalls. The name is, I believe the name of the company is
not
Buc-ee's.
on your website.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
And what's your website? The next time you'll be on there.
DrCarrie.com.
DrCarrie.com. We'll put that little affiliate link. I like affiliate links. Yeah. I use them. I buy from other people. I really do. Anytime I buy Amazon, I go to someone else's link to start, because I don't.
I like supporting small businesses,
and I would buy that
myself instead of Amazon.
So the next thing is be authentic.
So be authentic. So one of the things that I learned, and we were talking a little bit about this earlier when we were offline, is about doing podcasts and interviews to really be yourself. If you make a mistake, I mean, who cares? And, you're going to edit some of this, but most of it is actually not going to be edited. You're going to hear my phone ringing in the background, your phone ringing, all that stuff. And so to really be authentic, be yourself. When you're, for me, when I'm with patients, when I'm with clients, when you're with customers or whatnot, when you're doing your interviews, just be authentic, be yourself. I've shared on my podcast many times that I have an addiction to ice caps. I have a coffee addiction that I'm struggling with.
I'll drink to that.
And and so what I'm saying is I'm not perfect. So I don't ever try and make myself out as
guess
perfect.
What? The sound machine is not working. I don't know why.
Darn it.
What's I going to do with the sound machine? I have no idea. This thing is baffling me. So anyway, with that, we're going to go to a break and come back with your commercial.
Okay. Somebody walked. Oh, you're here early, Mary.
Yeah, we were coming, we agreed to come in this morning. We're just going to do some rollouting on the study. Okay. So Judy, she's looking for this one. But she was looking for a dash small, emulsion. And we've only got the emulsion. Right. Is that the same sort of thing? Or is it the same thing as she said? Okay, the other one is not back for us. Okay, because she said that flavor is like spirit for sure, makes her feel the citrus. Okay, she's going to try to get flavor now. It's citrus flavor, and the other one is on back order. Okay, I just don't know when it's going to come in. Okay, on a live interview back here. Okay. Oh.
Okay, we're back with Dr. Carrie. We're going to open up for questions. Hey, Dr. Carrie, I've got a show on the hour. It's called a real estate show. I actually set it up and produced it initially. I've transferred it over to folks, but I still run the backside of it. I don't know why our sound's not working at all. It works, and then it stopped working. It doesn't make any sense. We worked on this yesterday. Let me see. It's definitely not working.
Maybe you have to do Control-Alt-Delete.
Let me try something. Still not working. Stupid.
Plug and unplug and replug.
That's what I did. I unplugged it, rebooted it. Let me shut down the app. It's plugged in ahead. Let me try this.
It's too bad that's not working.
No,
I can tell you're excited about it.
And it should work. It shouldn't be this hard. And everything is correct. It's got to be a software glitch. Really bizarre. Audio is muted. Use headphones to mixer. Everything's right. Yeah, it's something screwed up in the system. Let me do something real fast. Let me try out.
Siri not available.
Can you hear that?
Connect to the internet.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're not recording, but I think it's hysterical. Come on, that's stupid. It's not doing what it's supposed to do. And there's no one to train me on it. Because I'm using stuff that other people aren't using yet. Some of the common. That's a problem with one of the problems with podcasting, netcasting, this whole environment. There's 1,000 ways to do things. How are you doing your podcast these days? Are you on the podcast? I can always add the music back in, but on the podcast, are you you create your podcast? Do you edit yourself?
I have one of my assistants edit it, but yeah, we essentially edit it ourselves. Yeah.
Within house, you do that in house, and you get it up.
Yeah.
Nice. I think it's really, in the long run, it's better to have the content developer not having to worry about the editing, to have someone else close doing it, ideally. But still
it takes a lot of time.
I'm trying to get it down so it's a lot faster. I'm timing everything. One thing for me, if I time stuff, it's a forcing function. It's hard to explain. I don't know if that's a health life principle thing. Now it's upside down. Nice. Come on. We'll see if we have any music now. Let's see. Let me move this up. I don't want mix. Mic. Cart. Okay. No, still no sound. That is bizarre. Because it was working. It just stopped working. You can hear probably the static. Nah, it's not going to work. Okay. Enough is enough. Oh, wait. It just, I didn't do anything except it did it itself. So it's a software glitch.
That works.
It's a software glitch. Definitely a software glitch. Okay. At least that's definitely a software glitch, because it stopped working on its own. So this technology is going to have to be worked on. So here we go back. And so we're going to come back. I'm going to go back into the questions. We're going to finish up a couple questions. Be authentic. Mentor others. Get comfortable outside your comfort zone. I'm going to say all of those and just have you talk about them. Get real and invest in great coaching. We'll talk about that. Okay? Here we go. And you get a commercial when you come back. So I'm going to let you do commercial. Here. That's enough of that. We are back from a break with our new sound machine, and we're actually recording now, and we're ready for a commercial from our guest, Dr. Carrie. Give us that commercial.
Well, I guess the best place where you can find me would be at my home website, which is drcarrie.com, spelled DRCARRI. And that's where you can find my podcast, the Functional Medicine Radio Show, that I do every week. That's where you can find my blog posts all about functional medicine. Of course, my book called Reclaim Your Energy and Feel Normal Again, Fixing the Root Cause of Your Fatigue with Natural Treatments. And lastly would be my newest program on entrepreneurial fatigue called Entrepreneurial Fatigue, How to Fuel Your Brain and Body for Entrepreneurial Success. And that's where I go through all of the basic lifestyle factors, like how to get really great sleep, the diet that entrepreneurs should be eating, the key nutrients that entrepreneurs and business owners should be taking, stress management, exercise, all of those basic things that entrepreneurs and business owners should be doing to help fuel your body and your brain so that you have more success in your business.
Hey, Dr. Carrie, we're off the break now. It was a great commercial. It makes me want to find out more. I'm starting this new show. And by the way, this is your first damn blab, right?
It is my first blab, yeah.
I see it. It's easy. You're catching right on. It's easy. And we're live. We have an audience up there watching and listening, and hopefully we'll open up and they'll come up and ask some questions. What I'd like to do is I'm doing this every day, at least Monday through Friday at 9 o'clock Pacific, even we're 8 o'clock now as we're transitioning. So you're welcome to come back anytime you can schedule in. Instead of doing this format, I would like to talk about those issues you just talked about. Life, health, and food. And we'll talk just about
how
to stay healthier instead of using our normal format. So I'm going to, as we finish in this last episode, I'm going to put your you've got 4 or 5 left of success, life, and leadership principles, but I'm going to put them together. So mentoring others, getting comfortable outside your comfort zone, and get ready. Get real. The problem may be yours. Maybe you, excuse me. Get real.
The problem may be you.
Yeah. This is live. That's why I say this is a live show. I'm going to learn how to do a live show, and this is why I call it netcasting. We are live. It's going to be on YouTube within 10 minutes when we're done. And I'll start working on show notes, and it'll be up tonight on iTunes. That's the whole process of the story. And ideally, we'll have it up within an hour, but as it evolves. So it really is tough. This is like radio, what we're doing right now. So you get everything. I get the glitches. You see what you get, except when I don't hit the record button. So
then you don't see it at all.
Taking breaks and going to answer the door, get some coffee. So you got a lot to finish up in the next 2 minutes.
Yeah, so those things that you just mentioned, you could think about those from a health standpoint, and you could also think about those from a business standpoint, as far as finding a mentor, being a mentor, getting real with yourself. I find for a lot of people, when it comes to living a more healthy lifestyle, a lot of them at some point, and I've had this with myself, we have that point where we have to say, okay, enough is enough, and I'm the one that is causing this problem. I'm the one that's making this choice to not exercise. I'm the one that's making the choice to not go to bed on time and stay up too late. I'm the one that's making the choice to X, Y, and Z. And so in the end, it becomes, you do have to get quite personal with yourself, get real with yourself about your health or about whatever it is in your life that you're struggling with. It, you might be in some way, shape, or form contributing to that. And that to find a good mentor, find a good coach. A lot of what I do in my private practice as a doctor is I do my doctoring stuff, but I'm also quite the coach and the cheerleader as well. There's all these different roles I have to play within my private practice. And then on a business standpoint, when I was in chiropractic school and naturopathic school, I have 2 doctorate degrees, but they never told us in school how to run a successful practice. They never told us about the business standpoint. They just told us how to be really great doctors. And so one of the things that I've learned over the years is when it comes to coaching, that finding really good coaches and mentors is really key to success in any part of your life. Athletes do this. Of course, people in business do this. And I would say learn from their mistakes so that you don't necessarily repeat them. And they've already traveled that road. They know the success principles that worked for them. And you can learn from those.
Very good. Hey, in closing, as we wrap up before we get your contact information, you talked about The Slight Edge last time. I really like
The Slight Edge. Yeah, that's a fantastic book. The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. And he actually talks about in that book, it's the small little things that you're doing every day or that you're not doing every day that will have the biggest impact on your success. So we think about, from a business standpoint, like we have these big lofty goals and how do we get there? And from a health standpoint too, like, I want to lose like 50 pounds or I want to be in a triathlon. Well, you have to start with the small little steps every day in order to get there. And he does a really great job in that book to explain that, how if you're not doing the right things, or if you're not taking the right steps every day, that will start to snowball before you know it. And I really love his book because it applies to your business, it applies to your relationships, your family, and of course your health.
That's great. So I remember that from last time. So how can the listener find you? Go to Ottawa?
I guess
Ottawa?
Go to Ottawa and find me. Come to Canada.
So how do we find you?
So the best place to find me would be, well, you could come to Ottawa, Canada. It's beautiful here. But go to my home website, which is drcarrie.com, spelled DRCARRI.com. And that's really my home base, the best place you can find me.
So, Dr. Carrie, I've got another show in about 10 minutes. And this is fun. This is like some of the new formats. So have patience. You're one of the early birds on the new format. So I thank you very much. And I'm going to leave you on for a few minutes. We're going to shut down the iTunes part, and we're going to have it open for YouTube and questions. So let me try our sound machine. Here we go as we finish. And the sound machine's not working. That's too bad. I didn't do anything.
Sound machine.
Absolutely nothing.
It's technology.
Sound to it. It's frustrating. I'm trying to make this faster, easier, and it'll happen. So, the stress reduction. I need stress reduction. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
So we're back on after the show and for YouTube. And we got Roxanne up. Roxanne is one of my favorites. And Roxanne's always improving, trying to get better and do great things.
Okay. I have epilepsy. And it's not under control, but it's not as bad as it used to be. And recently, for some reason, I have been falling asleep. I mean, anytime, just about whenever I just sit down to rest. So what can I do for like vitamins or food? I don't know why it started. I'm going to go for a sleep study, but what can I do to help? I don't be put on anything else for medicine.
So you're saying you're having a hard time falling asleep?
No. During the day, I'm like, I can sleep.
Oh. Like you just fall asleep? You could be driving your car and fall asleep? Well, you should be driving, but
yeah, I don't drive.
That's right. You should be driving, but you could be in a car and fall asleep, or on the bus and fall asleep.
Yeah.
So that could be narcolepsy. Yeah, you would have to be checked out by a medical doctor or a neurologist.
Yeah, I'm going for a sleep study.
Good.
If I can do anything for myself without being put on any other medicine, anything herbal or food?
I would say at this point, it's too early to tell, and you should have some testing done.
Well.
Yeah. Sorry, but yeah, it's really too early. You need to have some testing to figure out why are you falling asleep so like that.
Okay. Well, Charlene, do you want to come on? Ask a question? I know Charlene. I asked her to. I knew she wanted to maybe come on and watch and ask some questions too. I don't know if she wants to ask me right yet, but what else about your book? Because it sounded really interesting. I would definitely want to get it.
So in my book, I explain 8 of the 14 underlying causes of fatigue. And I explain it in simple language. I would say that for the most part, when patients come to see me in my private practice, they've already seen their family doctor, they've seen a specialist, had some blood work done, everything is normal. And they're basically told, like, we don't know what's going on, maybe you should try an antidepressant, or maybe you need to take a vacation, or maybe you're starting a burnout and you need to take 3 months off of work. And of course, none of these are really real answers for people. They're not the real solution. And so that's what helped prompt me to write the book, is to give people answers, because they know that there's something wrong in their body that just, taking a vacation is not going to fix.
Right.
And so I talk about anemia and thyroid problems as being the 2 things that absolutely should be checked for.
Yeah.
And then above and beyond that, it can be related to blood sugar imbalances, stress hormone imbalances. The cortisol is our major stress hormone. We have different nutrient deficiencies like vitamin D, iron, magnesium, B12 that are very common actually. And then I talk about how hidden food sensitivities can be the underlying cause or contributor to fatigue. Let's see, I talk about hidden infections, which is a really interesting topic. And a lot of research right now is being done on how important healthy bacteria is for our body, the healthy bacteria that lives in us and on us. And that actually a lot of people, when I do testing, stool testing and whatnot, they actually have hidden infections. They have bad bacteria growing inside of them, or yeast growing, or like a parasite infection that we need to clear out. And then the last one that I talk about in the book is brain imbalance. That it actually could be in your head. And what I mean by that, I say that a little bit tongue in cheek, that it could be that the serotonin and dopamine are not in balance, and that there are specific key nutrients and amino acids that can be taken to get that balance back in order again.
Okay.
So those are the 8 of the 14 that I talk about in the book. And then I also talk about my own personal fatigue story, and then 4 other cases from real patients from my private practice. So kind of like, this is where they were, these are the tests that we did, this is what happened, and here's where they're at now.
That sounds great, because you always hear, these people come on, oh, this amazing vitamin, minerals, and you don't know whether or not to believe them. Oh, wait a minute.
Exactly.
Because like a couple nights ago, I see this one, you try this, and see how much more energy it has, this extra ingredient and all this. And I just laugh sometimes because people might fall for them. But,
right. Yeah, there is a lot of junk out there on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
And it's never that easy. It's never as easy as just taking one thing and it's going to cure everything. Yeah. It's not that easy. And so if that's what you're being told, even if that's what a doctor is telling you, you need to be skeptical, because it's never that easy.
Yeah. And as you can see, I've been told about my vitamin D. You can tell how pale I am. My vitamin D has been low, so I have to make sure I keep my vitamin D up.
Yeah, the best source of vitamin D is the sunshine, of course. And depending on where you live, that can be really hard to get adequate vitamin D. They say that you should be in the sun, have at least half your skin exposed. So that means be in shorts and a t-shirt or a bathing suit. And it needs to be when the sun is like directly overhead. So think about the shadow that you cast. The shadow needs to be shorter than you are tall, which means the sun is right overhead. Those factors need to be in place. Plus, you cannot be wearing sunscreen.
I was going to say, they say too, a problem is we wear too much sunscreen now, isn't it?
Well, the sunscreen blocks your ability to make vitamin D. So you have to have those 3 factors in place. And of course, the 4th is it needs to be a bright blue sky. There can be no clouds or no haze in front of the sun. We need to have those 4 factors in place. And when we do, really just about 10 minutes of sunshine is all we need. And your body will make anywhere from 15 to 20,000 units of vitamin D within that 10 minutes. So it doesn't take much. And depending how fair your skin is, like I have very fair skin, I burn really easy. So it's that period of time before you start turning pink. Once you start turning pink, you need to get out of the sun. But whatever that period of time for you is, if it's 5 minutes or 6 minutes or 7 minutes, yeah, that's the best way to get vitamin D. But a lot of people can't do that, or they're working in an office environment. They don't want to go out, strip off all their clothes and stand in the sunshine for 10 minutes, during the heat of the day when it's like 90 degrees outside. Yeah. So then you take vitamin D supplements.
I had to learn. Let's see.
Exactly.
The question, do you want to come on in? Well, this is Corinne. Can you talk? We don't see you.
So just so you know, Roxanne, I have about 5 more minutes and then I have to go, just so you know. And for the listeners out there and the viewers, I have about 5 minutes. So come on in and ask your questions.
I want to know, what is your role and function on your business? Like, do you have a role in your business, or if you people have any role?
Oh.
So you're asking what's my goal in my business? So really my goal in my business is to just try and help as many people as I can, whether it's seeing patients one-on-one in my private practice at Functional Medicine Ontario, whether it's with my podcast, you know, reaching a broader audience and bringing functional medicine to the masses. It's really just in whatever way, shape, or form I can have an impact on one person's life, and then from there that can have a trickle-down effect. It's really all it is about for me is how can I help people.
Hey, JD.
Hey,
Roxanne.
How do you make people at your role? So, basically, are you a manager, or what is your role at your company?
Oh, my role? I'm the doctor, and I'm also the director of my office. I'm the person at the top, I guess you could say. Which sometimes is a good thing and sometimes is not a good thing. Hi, JD.
Yes,
do you have any questions?
So I just came in here really late, and I just caught a little bit of talking about a little bit about fatigue, and I don't know if you were talking about chronic fatigue syndrome or what, but I've always, it seems to me, whatever ails me almost always can be cured by ramping up the exercise a little bit and just getting out and around here in Northern California. I have lots of parks with foothills and everything to go walking through. And I have a couple of times suffered from mild cases of depression. Never have taken any medication for it. I just got very serious about doing 3 to 5 miles, in the hills, and then suddenly, like, it just, everything seems better. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, you bring up a great point, JD, that actually just plain old simple exercise, like this is not rocket science here, this is just plain old simple exercise, has tremendous impacts on our health. And there is a lot of research actually that has been done on the benefits of exercise for people that have depression. For people that have mild depression, exercise is considered one of the top treatments. It's not Prozac, it's not Cymbalta, it's not any of the other medications. It's actually just exercise.
I almost refused to even entertain the idea of ever even taking medication for that because, of course, if I had had bad depression, I probably would. But I've only had like 3 episodes where I really thought I needed to go see somebody, and each time it was exercise, and then it's amazing how suddenly. And it is quite sudden. You kind of get out of it.
Yeah, and I would say that for those of you out there that have depression, that just the thought of going and exercising can be really difficult, and that's where it really can be really helpful to have a friend, a family member, a buddy to help motivate you. And even if all you can do is just like walk around the block once or just walk to the end of your driveway and then back in the house, you just start where you can, do what you can, and just kind of slowly build from there. What you bring up
is quite important because it does require, because you are already suffering from this disease that is causing a malaise. So it's hard to get motivated. But if you can push through, if you can really push through and get out there and just, you'll feel that benefit. But I'm wondering if even fatigue issues or something as defined as chronic fatigue syndrome can benefit from that, because it does seem it does seem counterintuitive, doesn't it?
It does, but actually, not to get too nerdy and doctory on you here, but all of the cells in our body have little power plants in them. They're called mitochondria. So they're little tiny organs within the cells of every part of your body. And the mitochondria, their job is to make pure energy. So you eat food, it gets digested, absorbed into your bloodstream, that gets absorbed into the cells. And it's the job of that mitochondria to take that food and make it into pure energy. And that energy is what keeps your brain thinking, keeps your heart beating, gives you the ability to walk around and whatnot, and it gives you energy that you feel. And so one of the things that they know that we can do to help make new, more healthy mitochondria is exercise. So there is a component that exercise is important to help fight fatigue.
Tell me about it, because I'd like to have a listen.
Yeah.
So my podcast is the Functional Medicine Radio Show. And you can find it on iTunes, and you can find it through my website at drcarrie.com.
I have a podcast as well, by the way. It's Blue Streak Science podcast.
I know you're thinking.
But we talk about the latest science. I have 3 co-hosts. One is at Emory University. All of them are PhD candidates, and one's at Emory University. One just started at Cambridge, and then another one is at the Kirby Institute in Sydney. So, and we get together via the magic of the internet, and we talk about. And we
I want to check that out. That sounds interesting.
So we just nerd out on science, and we talk about the latest science news. But I'm starting to introduce things like games into it. So we have a game called "What the Hell Was That?" And "What the Hell Was That?" is I play a sound in the game, and they have to guess what the sound is, and it's a science sound of some kind, and so it's.
So anyway, I'm going to check that out.
I didn't come here to shamelessly plug, but it's called a functional medicine.
But you're on live. Tell them what night.
Yeah.
You're on here.
Oh yeah.
You're on
me?
Blab.
Oh yeah, I'm on Blab. And
he always on Blab. He always on Blab.
I am.
Well, this is my very first time on Blab, so. Thanks for making it a little bit easier for me, guys.
Interactive platform, and I have found that it has augmented my podcast. It has helped me to funnel people into the podcast because of the direct interaction. Because isn't that what we all want with our podcasts? We really want to have the interaction with our listeners, and this really allows it. And I think it's been very good for us. So. So anyway,
I can definitely see that.
I'm free. I like that.
One question.
Oh.
What question do you have there at Soul Broadcasting?
Not the first time. I understand what you mean, but
he must have not known. Okay, but did I type that in correctly? Functional Medicine Podcast? Was that what it was called? That radio show.
It's called the Functional Medicine Radio Show.
Everything to make sure that we have everything about.
That's okay. Where do I put and send a message?
Well, I'll do that. The functional.
Is that where I put it? Functional Medicine Radio Show. And then I'm at drcarrie.com. Yeah.
That's okay. Well, I think we're done. You said you had to be somewhere in a few more minutes. Great.
Yeah, to get started for seeing patients.
And, And you know your book again. Make sure we have it on.
I did too.
Make sure we have it on here too. The name of the books to look for?
The book? So you would go to w.rick.
Okay.
ReclaimeEnergyBook.com.
Wonderful.
That's where you can find my book. And you can also buy it off of Amazon
I know, it's
if
funny.
you want Kindle
I like
form or
reading it off
whatnot.
of Kindle, but my 2 little girls still love to get regular books. Isn't that funny? They do.
Yeah, I like to curl up with a paper book. Yeah.
Also, you also have a YouTube channel.
I do have a YouTube channel, but you know what? I haven't gotten into using it, so I don't even know what my YouTube channel is called. That's terrible. I think I have 2 videos posted or something. Anyways, I need to get on top of that.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Okay, thanks, guys.
You too. Bye.
Okay, have a great day, guys. Bye.
Right, now you
I'm
have
stop recording. I'm gonna stop recording if it'll let me. Why do I click
Put me a
it?
photo. I want you in. Put me a photo. I want you
Why
in.
does it not let me?
Put me a photo. I want you in.
I am.
Right, done.